Hey guys, what is up? Shadolance back for another review on a Terabad gun for the second time. This is the Howa Type 89. I never thought I would find a gun that I avidly hate as much as I avidly hate the TAR series or the L85 series that aren't mod variants. So here we go, Howa Type 89 for the second time. Going straight into the stats, we're seeing a very low damage for an assault rifle of 37, portability of 63, which is not particularly appealing, although it is a little bit lower than average. Rate of fire of 76, which is actually quite high, accuracy of 87, which is totally fine, that's plenty high accuracy, and recoil of 67. Now, overall the stats aren't great to begin with. The rate of fire and the accuracy are good, the portability is a bit on the low side, and the damage is kind of low to be a little useful. And the damage drop-off is not great to go with it. Fortunately, the gun is a pretty low-ranked weapon. It's 2nd Lieutenant 4. It's not the lowest rank in the game, but it's relatively low, and most of you will have access to it at some point or another to test out how bad this gun is. Fortunately, you can customize scopes, magazine, and suppressor, which is a nice little thing on top of that, and firing modes include burst and fully automatic. You should be able to see both of them in the review at some point, so that's important. It's really just not that good of a gun. The damage drop-off is pretty bad. The spread recovery isn't very fast. It's not the fastest or the slowest. It's just kind of mediocre. And it just feels performance-wise like it's not very good. Damage is a very, very, very important part of an assault rifle, and it's a little bit too low on this, plus the bad damage drop-off to make it not very useful. It has the base ammo capacity 30 of 90, so that's just average, nothing special. If I had to make suggestions for any kind of attachments, I actually would not suggest the ACOG scope that I have on it during this review. I would suggest the iTech. The iTech is a little more useful to be able to spray with this gun. It doesn't have low recoil. The recoil 67 not only is statistically a little bit on the high side, the recoil pattern is also quite difficult to control in my personal opinion, so that's just kind of my own thing. The accuracy for the first shot is quite accurate, so you could tap fire a first shot, but actually you can't even tap fire this gun that fast without the spread getting out of control. It's just a really, really not that good of a gun. The magazine, I don't really think you need it, but if you want to extend a magazine 1, I would always recommend extended magazine 1s, except on weapons that have 35 ammo capacities or maybe some SMGs. But I would almost always suggest an extended magazine 1 if you have to put a magazine on it. I would never suggest fast loaders except for anything with maybe shotguns or maybe with certain sniper rifles, but I never even used them myself, so that's kind of biased to say so. So extended magazine 1 to keep the 3 even clip sizes if you really want to go with that. Suppressor, if I had to suggest one, since the recoil's already screwed up in scope and you can't screw it up by putting an S1, may as well go ahead and put an S1 on it. I mean, yes, it will make the recoil look a little different, but the pattern's already screwed up and it's kind of hard to use, so no harm in putting on the S1 suppressor. If you're not comfortable with that, it really does screw it up for you personally, then obviously go with the S3, but it will minimize the spread outside, which is just a little above average for spread. The spread is relatively big, but it's not like gigantic by any means. It's not an AK-47 that we're talking about here. And the burst mode definitely helps control that if you, for some reason, don't have a scope on the gun, or if you just feel like using it. It's actually quite a usable burst mode with the high rate of fire and the high accuracy, and the recoil. Well, the recoil pattern doesn't really help it, but it's pretty low, so, you know, the burst just kind of goes pretty much where you want it to go. That's not too difficult to control, but it's a burst mode, so you gotta wait a second in between firing each time. But with the high accuracy and rate of fire, you should have no real issue getting your shots to land, but the damage drop-off may make it kind of difficult. This can be a 5-shot kill at maximum range. I've seen it 6-shot people. Hausers, I suppose, could be a 7-shot kill at maximum range, but I've never really tested that. I try not to use this weapon for my own sake of sanity, so that's just my own kind of thing there. In real life, it's still called the Howa Type 89. It's the same name in real life. It's a Japanese weapon. It's meant to be it's meant to be just a really accurate but weak rifle. It's the best way to describe it. Kind of pointless, but whatever. It's kind of like the M24 of rifles, but that's the best way I can really describe it. Thank you guys for watching this review. I am about out of time for today. I highly appreciate you watching this very short review. I hope it was informative and that you guys were able to get the stuff out of it you needed. Thank you. Come back for more, and I'll see you next time. Shadolance out.